Hello, I'm Greg. Welcome to my channel, Midnight Oil Software, where I talk about game development using Unity and also digital art. In this stream, I'm going to continue working on my remake of the classic Moon Patrol game, which I'm adding as a mini game to my Ninja Eggs game, which is a 2D Angry Birds clone using hand-drawn art inspired by artist Mark Kistler, who you may remember from his shows on PBS, The Imagination Station and Secret City. So today I'm going to continue working on adding milestones to the game. You may remember from the previous stream that I added these milestone markers, and I haven't implemented a spawner yet, but I just added the marker and added the text, and I can drag them onto terrain as a child of the terrain, and then when the buggy scrolls over it, it hits the collider and tells the level controller that we've completed a milestone. So what I plan to do today is fix a couple of cosmetic issues. You may remember that the text for the marker was not being displayed. So that I think is going to be simple to fix. And then I also noticed that my scoreboard for the mini game disappeared. And you all are going to laugh at me when you see what the problem was. I'll show you the problem first, and then I'll show you what it actually turned out to be, and it's actually pretty funny. So let me pause the game and take this milestone marker and drag it onto this terrain here. And I want to zero out its position and then move it back a little bit, or actually down a little bit. If I can type. There we go. Now, if I let this fly, where did it go? I actually moved it out of view, but I scrolled over it, I hit it, and I triggered the collider. So yeah, you can actually see that it's not even visible. I ran over it, I hit the collider, and it notified the level controller that I completed the milestone, and I'm displaying this fading text. So that works, but let's fix the cosmetic issues. First of all, where is my scoreboard? So there should be a minigame scoreboard here, and here's where you're going to laugh at me. I was just zoomed in to my game view. All I had to do was zoom out, and you can see I've completed a milestone, and I got 250 points. So that fixes the one issue with the minigame scoreboard disappearing. The other issue is this flag not showing up. So let's run this again. Drag this milestone marker down. Zero it out. Negative 0.7. So there it is. But we're not seeing the milestone number. If you go look at the text, it's 1, so I should see the text. Now, it's on the milestone layer, as is this flag image. So if I hide the flag, you see the number. And so I really think the problem is this order in layer. Since they're both on the milestone layer, I don't want this to appear in front of the text. So that looks good, except now I don't see the flag at all. So, okay, so that moved it forward. Very interesting. Because I can't specify the order and layer for the text. So let me put that back at 0. There we go. So now they're both at position 0, order and layer. Well, as far as I know, I don't know where this puts things in terms of the order and layer. That doesn't really seem to be an option. But this is now a little bit in front of the flag. And of course I'm running, so none of these changes are going to be applied. So that's a -1, we'll say -1.5 for the text. And I just say -0.5 for the flag. Order and layer 0. So let me stop the game. -0.5, order and layer 0. -1.5. So let me run the game. Drag this down to some terrain. Zero it out. Move it down. Is that going to work? Oh, I stopped playing. I got to remember to stop doing that. Ugh. Okay. There it is. All right. So I've got that fixed. So the next thing on the agenda is to create the milestone spawner. So I'm going to spawn it with the terrain manager. So if I go into the terrain manager script, when I spawn terrain, actually when I spawn new terrain, yeah, what I'm going to do is say if should spawn milestone spawn milestone. And I'm going to have a serialized field. And I want to have an initial initial milestone point. What do I want to call that? So basically, this is after how many terrain tiles you need to cross before you reach your first milestone. I'll call it point. Default that to 20. I want to have an increment, so every time you complete a milestone, I want to add to how many you have to pass, how many terrain tiles you have to pass before you reach another milestone. And then I'll have milestone counter. So an on enable, I'm going to move these into on enable and get rid of this start. And the reason I want to do this is because if you finish the game, if you finish this level and start again, start might not get caught again, but on enable will get caught again. Okay, so milestone counter equals initial milestone point. So when I spawn, now spawn initial terrain will decrement the milestone counter for each piece of terrain that it spawns. As will spawn new terrain. So, I'll have a property here. So that will tell me whether or not I should spawn milestone. So we have a milestone prefab that we're going to want to spawn. So let's add a serialized field for that. Oops. So I'm going to spawn a milestone prefab. Actually, I need to know which terrain to attach this to. Okay. Well, I want to set its local position. Is that right? So that should handle that. I'm going to want to do the same kind of thing. Oh, I also need to set its text. So in the terrain manager, I don't know if the level controller will tell me how many milestones have been completed. And I currently don't have a reference to the level controller. This one is not specific to the Egg Patrol game. So what I'm doing here is I need to get a reference to the level controller, and I need to keep track of which milestone this would be. I don't know if that is available to me or not. It's not. So I need to add that. That does take a string, does it not? Yes. All right. Did it not? It did not generate that. And I want to add that to the interface as well. And then down here, all right. That should do it, I do believe. The only other thing I want to do is this needs to be reset, the counter. Actually, I'm just going to increment it by 5. Well, no, because it's already counted down. So it needs to be that initial milestone point plus 5 times milestones completed. I think that will work. All right. Let's see what happens when I hit play. I can get rid of this guy. Okay, I got an error. Ah, might be nice if I filled in my required variables. So he needs a milestone prefab. Okay, that was unusual. So did that prefab not have the correct layer? That says milestone, milestone, milestone. And it also didn't seem to set the text correctly. I was still debugging from our last session. All right. Maybe I should turn off craters just to test the milestones, so I have one less thing to worry about. Okay. I want to set this to that value plus 1. But still, I should have set the text on that guy. And then I set it to active. All right, so let's take a look. I bet you... So I didn't fix that. So none of that stuff got persisted, apparently. I must not have saved it to the prefab. Yep. Okay, so I have a few things to fix there. I don't know what's up with the collider, though. I remember I changed the collider to be isTrigger. So none of that stuff got persisted to the prefab. All right, so some things to fix here. Go into my prefab for milestone marker. The first thing I want to do is set this guy to isTrigger. The other thing I want to do is set the flag to be order in layer 0 and then negative 0.5 for the Z, and then for the milestone text, negative 1.0 should be fine. All right, that is now saved. The other thing I want to do is in my terrain manager, I want to add 1 to that. All right, let's see if all that works. Okay, I'm spawning a milestone. There it is. Yay! Alright, so there's... Oh, it said 1 again. It's like it skipped 2. I wonder if it spawned it before I completed it. That's really bizarre. Oh, I know exactly what's going on. Those aren't new milestones. I'm not despawning the milestones when I complete them. So, let's go into our milestone marker. Why do I have 2 in it? All right. Okay, so in here, in increment milestone, we're going to want to tell our parent to deparent us, and we're going to want to destroy ourselves. So transform. Actually, I think all I got to do is say, yeah, transform dot set parent null, and then game object dot set active. Actually, I want to despawn. I want to use the object pooler. That should be all I need to do. So now the hazard, the terrain no longer has us as a child, and we despawn ourselves, and we're put back in the pool for the next time we want to spawn terrain. I mean, milestones. There's 1. There's 2. I think I might want to make those a little bit bigger because it's kind of hard to read, at least on this display. Three. And every milestone is worth 250 times whatever the milestone is. So the next one should add 2,000 points, I believe. No, 1,000 points. So I should get up to 2,500 points. Yep. So all of that is working honky-dory. I just think I want to make that guy a little bit bigger. Let me try that. Make it 50% bigger. That's better. Yeah, I can read that better. Very nice. All right. So it deparented from the terrain, and it was still under don't destroy unload, but deactivated. So I think I've got the milestones working. I'll turn on my hazards and my craters, and I'll turn on my enemy spawner. We'll just give this a quick test here. I'm actually going to stop this and then maximize on play. Oh, darn. Well, I completed one milestone. I got 500 or 600 points. Oh, something's wrong there. For some reason, it displayed the wrong amount of points on the game over screen. That was hard. I jumped too late. 300 points. Oh, I didn't see what I had there. I'll pause it next time. $600, $600. So it was correct that time. I don't know where it's getting this maximum points from. Because that does not seem correct from my testing. Okay, can definitely investigate little things like that later. I had on here that I might add more hazards like landmines, forward and back controls for the buggy, a countdown before the game starts. I need to draw the landmine to add additional hazards. Adding the forward and back controls, that's going to also involve creating a scroll speed controller. Because right now, the buggy is not actually moving. The terrain is scrolling underneath the buggy as if it was on a treadmill. So what I want to do for forward and back, I want to have a neutral position for the buggy. I want to have a maximum forward position, and I want to have a maximum or minimum backward position. When I press forward, if I'm not at the maximum forward position, I want to move until I get there. If I'm at the maximum forward position and I'm pressing forward, I want to increase the scroll speed up to a maximum scroll speed. So initially, I'll just move forward, and then I'll start scrolling faster. And if I stop moving forward, I'll drift back to my neutral position and then reduce the scroll speed to the normal scroll speed. If I move backwards, if I'm not at the minimum position, I'll move back to there, and then I'll slow down the scroll speed. And if I stop moving backwards, I'll drift back to my neutral position and then resume the normal scroll speed. So all of that means that everything that is scrolling, like this scrolling terrain, instead of it scrolling at a fixed speed, it's going to have to get the scroll speed from a scroll speed controller or scroll speed manager. So, and that includes the hazards as well. So if I let this go, this boulder here, where is that boulder? He's parented to a piece of terrain. So he's parented to the terrain, and the terrain is the one that's scrolling. So right now that scroll speed for the terrain is hard-coded. So yeah, that's going to want to come from a scroll speed manager. But I think I'm actually going to wrap up this stream for today. I had a little bit of a work emergency before lunch, and I didn't get to eat, so I want to get something to eat real quick. And so on the agenda for next stream, I want to add more hazards. So I want to draw the art for landmines. The other thing I want to do is add scorched earth visuals for when bombs hit but don't create craters. Now that's also going to mean I'm going to have to add the logic to not create craters too close together. So I definitely want to do those two things. And then if we have time, we'll look at adding this stuff. Yeah. All right, well, in the meantime, I really appreciate you all tuning in and watching my stream. Hopefully there was something interesting for you. If you haven't already, please click the like and subscribe button and click that notification bell so you can be notified the next time I go live or upload a video. And again, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.